In this video, we are going to talk about what to do if there is more than one adjective. On this page, we see the picture of a peach. So the subject of our sentence will be the peach. Here is our subject, the peach. This sentence at the top shows a red, green, yellow type of sentence. We have a noun and then the verb to be. It can be is or are, and then we have an adjective telling us about the peach. What kind of peach is this? It is juicy. So our sentence is, the peach is juicy. But we can also say that the peach is sweet. Now we have two adjectives, juicy and sweet. The subject is the same in both sentences. Our verb is the same. So we can combine these sentences. That means stick them together. There are two ways we can do this. Here is the first way. We can say that our subject, the peach, is sweet and juicy. Do we have to say sweet first? No, we do not. We could switch these and say the peach is juicy and sweet. If we can switch the adjectives and they have the same meaning, the meaning does not change, then we can also write the sentence this way. I like the sweet, juicy peach. In this sentence, our subject is I, the verb is like. I like what? A peach. So peach is my object, and I have two adjectives to describe what kind of peach. I put them before the object. I have sweet and juicy. Because these two adjectives can be switched and it has the same meaning, I will use this comma in between them. Here's where we are going to read the rule about whether or not we need a comma between two adjectives. Here it says, use a comma between two adjectives that describe the same noun. Well, that means that if we have a noun, a person, place, or thing, and then we have two adjectives to describe it, so we have 1 and 2, that is telling us that we should put a comma between. It is saying that if this adjective tells us about this noun, and if this adjective tells us about this noun, then we are going to put this comma between the two nouns. However, it depends on answering a question about whether or not adjective number 1 and adjective number 2 can be switched and the meaning is the same. So there's another part of that rule that says, note that the two adjectives should be interchangeable. That is a very fancy word that means you can switch them and it still makes sense and has the same meaning. So let's check in these two sentences about dogs. Here we can see that our subject of the sentence is dogs, dogs. Our verb is the same, are. Dogs are what? Dogs are pets. Dogs are what? Dogs are pets. So we can see that the object in each sentence is pets. And we want to ask the question, what kind of pets? And so we have these two adjectives, They're fun pets, and they are playful pets. The question we have to ask is, can we switch fun and playful and the meaning will be the same? Can we put playful first and fun second? And the answer is yes, we can. And therefore, we use the comma in between them. This comma right here. One way to test if the two adjectives are interchangeable is to just switch them, like we did here, and see if it still makes sense. Another way to see if they are interchangeable is to replace the comma with an and. So we can find that comma that's right here, and we can put the word and instead and see if it still makes sense. For example, dogs are fun and playful pets. And that makes sense. That means those two adjectives, fun and playful, are interchangeable. We can switch them and it still makes sense. So we would use the comma in between them. Now, for the rest of this lesson, we are going to talk about different kinds of adjectives. We put adjectives into different groups. In order to use a comma, the two adjectives need to be in the same group. If they are not in the same group, then we will not use a comma. The very first kind of adjective we might use at the very beginning would be one called a determiner. A determiner helps us know which one are we talking about. Some examples of determiners are in the blue box. We have the words a, an, and the. We can also use words in the orange box that tell us what order things are in. Is it first, second, third? Is it last or next? In the yellow box, we can have a number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 50, 100. In the red box, we can have words like this, that, these, and those. In the green box, we can have words like my, your, his, her, its, our, your, and their. We might remember that these are singular, talking about just one, and these are plural, talking about more than one. Those are a kind of pronoun that we use to help us know what or who something belongs to. And then in the pink box, we can have words that help us know how much. Some, any, every, more, much, few, or little. So there is something called order of adjectives. We're going to just read through this together. It says, we can follow the red dot. Determiners, like articles, that's a, and the. Words like my, your. Words like this, that. Words like some, any, few, many. Numbers like 1, 2, 3 always appear before anything else. So the words that we looked at on the previous page are words that always go first. After that, the general order is opinion before facts. This means that opinions should always come before facts while arranging the adjectives before a noun. Therefore, the normal order that is followed is this. The determiner, those are the words we looked at on the previous page. Opinion adjectives. Opinion means it is just what we think, how we feel. Other people do not need to agree with us. And then we have facts. Facts are something that everyone needs to agree with. And then comes the noun. Fact adjectives can be further broken down and arranged into size, shape, age, color, origin, that is where does it come from, material or what is it made of, and purpose, what is it used for. So here are some examples. The determiner would be words like a number, to, a, or a word like this. An opinion would be something like tall, beautiful, wonderful, fantastic. Size, shape, age, and color would be white is a color. 15th century would be an age. Old would also be an age. Origin is where does it come from? American, Italian, French, German. A material is what is it made out of, like wood. A purpose might be a noun that is used as an adjective and it tells us what we're using it for, like coffee. This table is used to put our coffee on it, so it is called a coffee table. This car is used for a sport like racing, so it is called a sports car. And then the main noun would be men, table, clock, and car. So it would read like this: two tall white American men, or a beautiful, well-known 15th century Italian coffee table, or a wonderful old French wood clock, or this fantastic famous German sports car. In these examples, no commas are used because the adjectives are each in a different group. Using commas is mostly going to be when we have more than one opinion adjective. But let's look at some other examples. So we saw on the previous slide that we could use a noun as an adjective. The nouns as an adjective always comes right before. It says first or before. I'm going to say right before the main noun. So if the main noun is bat, the noun as an adjective would be cricket. If the main noun is ball, the noun as an adjective would be soccer. The main noun is race, and the noun as an adjective is car. So a noun is a person, place, or thing, and an adjective is a word that describes a noun. However, sometimes in English, a noun is used to describe another noun. In other words, the first noun performs the function of an adjective. So in a soccer ball, soccer is a noun, ball is a noun, but we put these two words together. Soccer comes right before the word ball. This page looks a little bit confusing, so we're going to break it down. Let's get our big white box out of the way. Okay, it says, the general order of adjectives before a noun is the following. Okay, so we remember that the opinion comes first, like ugly or beautiful. One person might think something is ugly and another person thinks it is beautiful. That is their opinion. They do not need to agree. Size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose, these are all facts. And they go in this order. Size first, and then age, and then shape, and then color, and then origin, and then material, and then purpose, and then comes the noun. So they wrote these letters to help you know what comes first. The O stands for opinion. This S is for size. This A is for age. This S is for shape. This C is for color. This O is for origin, or where does it come from? What country does it come from? M is material. What is it made of? And P is the purpose. What do we use it for? Some examples of opinions are delicious, lovely, nice, and cool. Examples of colors are green, blue, reddish, and purple. Examples of size are big, small, tall, huge, and tiny. Examples of origin are American, British, Indian, and Turkish. These start with a capital letter because they are from the name of a country. Examples of age or how old is it are old, young, new, antique is very old. Material or what is it made of? Gold, wooden, plastic, synthetic. Synthetic is something that is made by a person. It is not something from nature. What shape is it? Round. This could also be the shape or the weight or the length. Round, square, long, fat. What is the purpose? What is it used for? Examples are gardening, shopping, riding. You see that all of these end with ing. So here we have a couple rules. Before the adjectives plus noun, we normally have a determiner. Remember, these words are like a and the, my, your, her, a number like for, this, those, some. So here are some examples. In this first one, a wonderful large round Spanish marble table. The noun is table. Our determiner is a. The opinion is wonderful. The size is large. There's no age. The shape is round. There's no color. The origin is Spanish. The material is marble. And there is no purpose. And here's the noun, the main noun. All of these adjectives come from different groups, so there are no commas. In this next example, my brown leather riding boots, the main noun is boots. The determiner is my. There is no opinion or size or age or shape, but we have a color, which is brown. We do not have an origin, but the material is leather. And the purpose is for riding horses. And the noun is boots. So my brown leather riding boots. No commas needed. Every adjective is from a different group. And then we have the little old man. The noun, the main noun is man. The determiner is the. There's no opinion. The size is little. The age is old. There is no shape, color, origin, or material, or purpose. We only have size and age. The, little, and old all come from a different group, so there is no comma. So here we have a few more examples. We need to remember, okay, these are going to be examples of adjectives that are not in the same category or group. So if the adjectives are not in the same group, there are no commas, but the order does matter. So we need to think about that. So here is the order. First we have an opinion. This one is a general observation opinion and then a specific observation opinion, but we're just going to remember that it is our opinion. And then we have the size or shape, and then the age, and then the color. On the previous slide, they said size and then age and then shape. So I think with size, shape, and age, maybe either someone is wrong in these slides, or there might be it might be okay either way. And then color, and then where is it from, the origin, and then the material, and then the purpose, what is it used for. So we have talked about adjectives that are in the same group and adjectives which are in different groups. They have these fancy words for them which we don't need to know, but coordinate adjectives come from the same category or group, and they need commas. So it could be 2 or 3 opinions. It could be like juicy, sweet, and delicious are all opinions. Or the same 3 colors like red, white, and blue. Those would be coordinate adjectives because they're from the same group. Cumulative adjectives build on each other. They come from different categories or groups and they don't need commas. So here are some examples. First, we need to remember that an adjective is a word that describes something. An adjective gives us more information about a person or thing. So here we have this hat. Okay, here's our noun, hat. And we can say that it's brown. So we can say brown hat. We can also say that the hat is old. Now, the green check means this is okay to say old brown hat. The red X means it is not okay to say brown old hat. The reason is because old and brown are in different groups. Old is the age and brown is the color. And in the order of adjectives, we want to say the age before the color. So we say old brown hat. Old and brown are not in the same group, so we do not use a comma. This one is wrong because it puts the color before the age. Let's look at another example. Okay, this will help us because it shows us the list here of the number, a determiner, and then an opinion, and then size. This is sort of a new one that we haven't seen. The age, and then the shape, and then color. Origin is where is it from. Material, what is it made of. Purpose, what is it used for. Remember that number is a type of determiner. It will always go first. Okay, so we could have 1, 2, 3, many, several. Our main noun here, dogs. So this is adding this word condition in between the size and the age. Examples of condition would be dirty or broken. So these 3 dogs, what word can we describe? What word can we use to describe their condition? It is hungry. They are hungry. So we have our determiner first, the number, 3 hungry dogs. 3 and hungry are adjectives, but they are not in the same group. One is a determiner and one is a condition. Even if we call hungry an opinion, it is still 2 different groups, so we do not have a comma. 3 hungry dogs. And in our last example, we're going to look at this. You'd think we're going to look at that kid eating an ice cream sundae, but we are going to look at the table. That doesn't seem quite as interesting. So our noun is the table. Here is the table. The shape of the table is round. That's from this category here, the shape. Other examples of shape would be thin or long or round. The size of the table is small or large. This one is small. The size comes before the shape. Other examples of shape are round, square, long, fat, and heavy. But the size comes first, so we say a small, round table. Size and shape are not in the same group, so we do not use a comma. We just say small, round table. So we heard before this expression cumulative adjectives or coordinate adjectives. Cumulative adjectives are adjectives that are in different groups. So they should follow a specific order. We are not going to use commas. We will not use the word and. For example, the dark green washing bowl. Coordinate adjectives are adjectives that are in the same group. The order doesn't matter because we can switch them. They are interchangeable. We can test this by switching them in the sentence and finding out if the sentence still has the same meaning, or by using the word and the meaning will be the same. So if the meaning stays the same, then we use commas, or we can use and. Some examples are the big, shiny, round ball. Or we could switch the order, a big, round, shiny ball. We could also use and, the big, round, and shiny ball. This last one shows a group of 3 adjectives in the same group. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and then the noun ball. In order for us to do that, the adjectives need to be in the same group. So let's see what our question is here. It says, should I put a comma between 2 adjectives? What I want us to read here is in this paragraph. It says, a good way to see if a comma should appear or be used, do we need a comma, between, that means in the middle of, adjectives, is to ask whether it could be replaced with the word and. If not, there's no need for a comma. So here are the examples. She is a charming, thoughtful person. Let's replace the comma with an and. She is charming and thoughtful. Yes, that still makes sense, so we use a comma. These adjectives are opinions. She is a charming, thoughtful person. Let's look at the second example. The yard has a brown wood fence. The yard has a wood fence that is brown, not a brown and wood fence. We cannot say brown and wood fence. We cannot say a wood-brown fence. We cannot switch them. The color comes before what the fence is made of. So these 2 words come from different groups. We do not use a comma, and the order is important. We say the color first. So here we're going to look here at this sentence. The Bruins are a fantastic hockey team. And we can check this in 3 ways to see whether or not we need to put a comma in between fantastic and hockey. So test number 1. Can you replace the comma with the word and? Let's try it. If we were going to put a comma between fantastic and hockey, let's use the word and instead and see if it makes sense. The Bruins are a fantastic and hockey team. That does not make sense, so we cannot use a comma here. There's another way we can test it also. Let's try this. Can we flip or switch the adjectives and keep the meaning? Can we say hockey first and fantastic second? The Bruins are a hockey fantastic team. That does not make sense either. Our tests are not working. Let's look at test number 3. Let's try combining both test 1 and test 2 and see if the sentence works. We're going to do hockey first and then fantastic and put and in the middle. The Bruins are a hockey and fantastic team. That does not make sense. So we do not use a comma. Fantastic and hockey are not in the same group of adjectives. Hockey is actually a noun that is being used as an adjective, and it will come right before the word team. Hockey team, we can think of that really as one, almost like one noun. Here is another example for us to try. Our sentence says, Mr. So-and-so, that's Buck Walter, I'm going to call him Mr. Buck, always helps little old ladies cross the street. So we know that our subject is Mr. Buckwalter. Oh, we have a adverb of frequency here, always. we have our verb helps. Remember that we put our adverb of frequency right between our subject and our action verb. And then we ask the question, what or who helps what, helps who, and that answer to that is these ladies. Well, we want to know what kind of ladies. Does he help every lady? Well, maybe, but in this sentence it tells us that the kind of ladies he's helping are little and old. But does it make sense if we say little and old? Can we say that Mr. Buckwalter always helps little and old ladies cross the street? What happens if we switch little and old? Does that make sense? Can we say he always helps old and little ladies cross the street? That does not make sense. If we try using and it doesn't make sense, then we are not going to use a comma. If we try switching these two and it doesn't make sense, we are not going to use a comma. Little and old are not in the same group. This is the size and this is the age. So there is no comma between little and old. But it does matter for us to say little first and then old. The order is important. So Mr. Buckwalter always helps little old ladies cross the street.